As protests continue to rage across the United States, they seem to be spreading to other countries as well. Many of these groups showing solidarity with the young black men who have been killed by police for, in many cases, no offense whatsoever. Most notably, these protests have taken place in London and France, and now they are here in Canada, specifically Niagara Falls. However, Canada is not immune from racial profiling and violence. Several prominent anti-racist rallies have been held across the country. Protests have taken place in Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, Niagara Falls, and Burlington, the protesters numbering in the thousands. The protests here today seem to be particularly focused around one young woman who recently died at the hands of Toronto police. The woman's name was Regis Kolchinsky-Paquette. Her mother called the police on May 27th after a family conflict. But once officers arrived, the situation spiraled out of control. She had hoped the police would take her daughter to the Toronto Centre for Addiction and Mental Health to get assistance. For reasons that are not yet clear, Kolchinsky-Paquette fell to her death from the 24th floor of her family balcony. Police have not released any details regarding the woman's death. However, it is currently under investigation by the Special Investigative Unit. Canada is often seen as a much more tolerant place than the United States when it comes to race. Well, for the most part, this is true. The ugly face of racism can be seen all over the country. And this time, it is increasing. Police violence against Black and First Nations is an ongoing social problem. Such obvious realities are being ignored by mainstream politicians, particularly the Premier of Ontario, Doug Ford, who previously said that there was no systemic racism within the police.
So again, good luck to him. And hopefully they can straighten out their problems. And thank God that we're different than the United States. And we don't have the systemic, deep roots they have had for years. When I went down to the U.S., spent 20 years back and forth building the company down there, I said the difference between the U.S. and Canada, for the most part, we get along. We all live beside each other. We work together. We share communities. We go shopping. And so, believe me, it's night and day when it comes to Canada and the U.S.
When it comes to hate crimes in Canada, blacks are far more likely than any other racial group to be victims of hate crimes, according to statistics from the Canadian Centre for Justice and Community Safety. While black people make up only 8.8% of Toronto's population in 2016, the report found that those involved in 7 out of 10 cases of fatal shootings by police during the latter period. It found that black people, specifically black men, were overrepresented in everything from investigation into use of force and sexual assault by police to inappropriate and unjustified searches and charges. It is clear that racial prejudice in society is very much alive in Canada. How the government chooses to deal with the systemic problem is another question altogether. Jason Unruhe, MRN, Niagara Falls. Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.